call this meeting of Wednesday, June 15, 2016 to order. Time 6:08. Start with the prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Any pecuniary interest to be declared? Daryl? And I believe we've stroked one item off the agenda, so I don't have to declare it all this evening. Moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Councillor Olmsted. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region adopts the agenda for the June 15, 2016 meeting. All those in, any omissions? All those in favor? Carried. Sorry. Moved by Chris Olmsted, seconded by Councillor McLaughlin. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region adopts the minutes of the May 18 meeting 2016 and June 1st, 2016 regular council meetings. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Oh, we'll sign them later. Slog through this. Moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Chris Olmsted. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region approve the attached schedule of general purpose accounts in the amount of $428,107.26 and water fund accounts in the amount of $1,881.36 for the period of May 1st to 31st, 2016, and that the above accounts be paid. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Chris Olmsted. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region receive and file departmental reports for the Treasurer, Public Works Manager, Chief Building Official, Environmental Services Manager, and Fire Chief and Reeve. And so, Marcia, have you anything to add to your report?
No, I don't, Mayor.
Any questions on Marcia's report? Councillor McLaughlin.
Just a question on the budget, Marcia. I'm just wondering what percentage, because it seemed like we had a lot of requests for donations or extra money, and what percentage of the levy would that have went towards, or can you give us a little?
Yes, I gave everybody a sheet on their...
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. A memo on their desk, and I've detailed all of the expenses for the recreation and broke it down for you. So to sum it up, it equals 2.37 hit on the levy with all the grants that the township is giving to all the recreation departments.
So 2.3?
2.37.
So, and then there was...
It's based on last year's levy.
Okay, and there was 5.4%?
5.41% for the police for this year.
So that's
levy.
pretty much the total
Basically,
increase?
Very
there wasn't
close.
very much else put on the increase other than well, I call them donations, but the money that went
Yes.
towards there?
So if you look on the second sheet, you will see that I broke it down to each recreation, okay? And then on the bottom, I've highlighted the 2016 amounts. And then on the very bottom, it shows you what the Township of Whitewater Region has paid to all those different recreations. You can take it and look at it, and feel free to certainly call me or email me if you have any other questions.
Excuse me, Councillor McLaughlin.
But in that also, Marcia, is the normal
Yes,
increases as well?
Yes.
So, yeah, if we,
that's all in
okay,
there,
so,
yes.
and is that in the 2 point?
Yes,
So,
The
okay,
full-
so really
full grant.
then, we could take that part.
we could take it out.
Yeah, because that's what we do,
Okay.
okay?
So what I can do is I can provide you with another report without the regular grant that the township gives each recreation department.
Yeah, I think that's really what I was looking towards,
Okay.
Marcia. Yeah. I just was concerned because it seemed like there was a lot of grant money or a lot of extra donations this year.
Yes, and
I knew
I
it would
think-
take quite a bit of the percent, because I'd asked Marcia to do this.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I certainly towards Cobden Recreation, this year we've budgeted just a little over $57,000, sorry. And the Beachburg rink is just a little over $53,000.
Yeah, I
So
think,
that does include the $15,000 grant though on top of that. That is included in it.
yeah, it's something I think we need to have a look at. Somewhere, a big discussion in the next upcoming meetings. I think we need to schedule something to look at this, because it seems to be starting to get to a point where there's a lot of money being spent towards it. If that's what we want, I don't have a problem. I understand all that. It's just I think we need to have a discussion about it.
We're gonna have that put on a future meeting for sure.
Sure, absolutely.
And I would like to say thank you, Marcia.
You're very welcome.
You got anything to add to yours, Bill? Quick update would be great. It'd be marvelous.
Good evening, everybody. We're doing pretty good on our construction schedule. We actually got a couple roads tore up that were scheduled to be tore up later on. We haven't done the work to them, but at least they're a lot smoother to drive on now. Corner View, the Kerr line. So we're ahead of schedule there. A little bit behind with the government road because of the windstorm that we had. And also, once, I guess it was yesterday, we cut the shoulders off the portion that we were only going to do an overlay on. And I think we should go ahead and tear the rest of it up and double surface treat it all right now. I ran some quick numbers this afternoon, and I believe I'll be still pretty close to within budget for what we had budgeted on the road originally. We had originally budgeted $344,600, and I built into that number a contingency fund in case something like this happens. So that contingency fund will still cover what the extra work is I proposed. It'll add another couple of days, probably 4 or 5 days to our construction schedule on that road, but I believe we're still in pretty good shape because we got the go-ahead and rip the other roads up. We're behind on government, but we're way ahead on a couple of the other ones, so it's all gonna balance out in the end. So,
Yep.
I guess, should I ask for a yes or no on that, to go ahead and do it?
If you're within budget, go for
I
it.
believe I'm going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
okay.
Thanks for the update for sure.
And the only other thing is we had 2 students start this week, so they're at coal patching, and then we'll be starting 2 more after Canada Day. So the 2 students that came now, they're college-age students, and then the 2 students coming after are high school-age students. So, I believe that's it for me. Questions?
Councillor Regier?
Just a comment, Bill, and that was, I drove by the Little Lakes there, and it's coming along, so thank you to all of your crew and
And
yourself for-
Borka, they're doing an amazing job at
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah.
They are indeed.
It's beautiful.
So,
It's going to be really nice when we're finished
I
there.
agree. It's a great job to everyone.
I agree with that. Also, that was around there on Sunday, and it's going to be pretty neat. I think there was a few people sad to see the poplars go, but the poplars were about to go themselves anyway. They were having a stroke of some kind.
They were, absolutely.
All right. Councillor McLaughlin?
I just want to say, Bill, thank you very much for looking after the Kerr line. In my mind anyway, it's a big improvement just to have tore up.
It couldn't get much worse.
It was pretty wicked. So it seemed, I put the yellow bucket over it and it was a lot smoother, let's put it that way.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thanks, Bill. Doug, have you got anything to add to yours?
Just that we have the MTO agreement in our hands. We've forwarded it to our lawyers and to BEI just for review, and we probably will have to have a special meeting at some time to get this progress going.
Okay, so that it's gone to our lawyer and has come back and now going to BEI, and it's pretty close to coming back to us?
It's gone to our lawyer and it's gone to BEI, and I'm not sure how close it is yet to coming back.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Bill? Doug?
One other thing, we have another person interested in a lot on the industrial park, so we may in the near future have another, offer to purchase.
That's great. Yep. Thanks, Doug. Steve, and do your report?
No, Mayor Johnson, I do not.
Any questions for Steve? Councillor McLaughlin?
I'm just wondering, Steve, do you have numbers yet on the attendance from the hazardous waste collection?
I had mentioned last time, we don't actually...
Okay.
They don't record how many people are through. Is that what you're wondering?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
They don't record the number of people
Okay,
that go
that's too
through.
bad, because I would like to have a number.
No more questions for Steve? And we don't have a fire chief, so all those in favor of accepting the reports from department heads? What? Oh, I'll ask them. Reeve Miller, you have anything to add? All right. Everybody's read Reeve Miller's report and no questions for the Reeve? All right. All those in favor of accepting the reports? Any opposition? Carried. Thank you, everybody. Moved by Chris Olmsted, seconded by Darrell McLaughlin. Be resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region adopts the minutes of the June 1st, 2016 Council and Committee meetings. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? Oh, yeah, I didn't see anybody else.
No, and it's just a comment. I think with only 4 of us being here this evening, I think it's imperative that we all,
Put your hands up.
put our hands in the, yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's,
Yeah, when there's just the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's 5. I'm an automatic, but no, I haven't been throwing mine in the air. I
Thank
just
you.
I count myself because I know which way. Absolutely. All those in favor? Right on. Carried. Moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Kathy Regier. Be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region recommends that changes to the human resources, hours of work, and overtime policy be approved by council as amended. All those in favor? Didn't ask for questions, but I better, yes. Councillor McLaughlin?
Can you tell me what were the amendments?
Would to go to 90 hours, 91 hours, sorry, yes, to go to 90, it was, exactly what you had put on the table.
Okay, that's what it says as amended, and I just couldn't quite.
All right, all those in favor? Carried. This one's next, eh? Aye? Yep. Perfect. Moved by Kathy Regier, seconded by Chris Olmsted. Be resolved that the Environmental Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region recommends to council that the JP2G sewer plant upgrade project management invoice submitted in the amount of $51,132.24 net of HST for consulting services for February to May 2016 be paid. Any questions? That's quite a bit more than normal. Is that a supplementary, Marcia?
Sorry, I believe that's a lot. We're gonna start getting more of the bigger invoices now.
Okay.
Because they've gone through a lot of their smaller things that they needed to. Now it's gonna be bigger, more engineering work, detailed work, stuff like that.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be bringing a report to council, next council meeting, just to give you an update as to what we've spent so far, because that project right now is sitting as unfinanced. And then we're gonna have that discussion about a debenture.
Yep.
Shortly.
Okay, great.
Okay?
And this was expected after we went through the environmental assessment, that we would be now in the planning stage. I was wondering, yep. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Darrell McLaughlin, seconded by Chris Olmsted. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater Region approves that the following bylaws be introduced, read, dealt with, numbered, signed by the mayor and clerk, and sealed and recorded in the bylaw book. 1. Bylaw 1606-869, repeal Clazy heat line agreement. Any questions on that one? Councillor Olmsted.
To Bill, did we get a chance to speak to the Classies?
Yes, I have. They're okay with it. They realize what we're up against here, and yes, they're okay with it.
Thank you. Number 2, bylaw 16-06-870, all-terrain vehicles. Any questions? Councillor Olmsted.
In reviewing that bylaw, the only thing I could really find in there was definitions of all the Renfrew County roads and the definition of ATVs to all-terrain vehicles. Is there, unless I'm missing something, is that the only change in that bylaw? Does anyone know?
Bill?
I believe that was the thing, was in order to allow side-by-sides to have the same rights as a four-wheeler or skidoo on the roads. I believe that's why she wrote it this way.
Okay, and we had already, made a new bylaw to allow, them on Main Street if they met the Ontario ruling, right?
We had requested that the county review their bylaw in order to allow them within our villages, yes, but that wasn't ours. This one is actually ours.
Okay. Any updates anywhere of, did they allow it, or did they change theirs to accommodate?
I believe I saw something not long ago that said that it's been changed to our request. I can't be 100% sure, but I think I saw something like that.
Okay, 'cause every one of the fuel stations in our municipality are on a county road.
Yes.
And it's a bit of a deterrent if they can't go for fuel. Councillor McLaughlin?
I'm just wondering maybe when Christine comes back, if she could, because for some reason, I thought that had come through on correspondence for us.
Okay.
So if Christine maybe could look into it and bring it back to another meeting to make sure that they were in the same same mind frame, I guess it would be, as we are.
Yeah, just to clarify it with us. So what we're passing here now in this bylaw is for the side-by-sides to have the same rules and regulations as the rest. So all in favor of that? Yes, Councillor Olmsted.
Just one thing, as it relates to Councillor McLaughlin had concerns, last time we spoke about ATVs. In this document, Councillor McLaughlin, there is there's two areas that speak specifically towards how fast these vehicles can go. And one of them is, in a 50-kilometer-hour zone, they are allowed to do 20 kilometers per hour. And in an 80-kilometer, I think it was an 80-kilometer-hour zone, they were allowed to do 50 kilometers an hour. So there are specific speed limits that those vehicles are allowed to do.
So that's all right. Okay, thanks, Councillor Olmsted. All those in favor of this? Carried. I don't mean to throw it at you. Moved by Chris Olmsted, seconded by Darrell McLaughlin. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Whitewater receives and files correspondence 1 through 5. We missed the bylaws. We'll go back to the bylaws. Oh yeah, I didn't do the rest of them. I'm sorry, people. Okay. Yeah, the number 3. We already approved this, so we're going back and we will be revoting, and if this doesn't pass, then we will change it. So number 3, bylaw 1606-871, naming and renaming roads. Any questions? Bill, yeah, could you speak to that?
Yep. So what this is all the streets and roads in our municipality, the ones that are in red are, they may not necessarily be new roads, but they've been missed to go on our actual road naming bylaw. One to make note of is Killdeer Trail. That is down by Garden Lake. The name has been changed to Jordana Trail because we couldn't afford to keep Killdeer Trail signs in stock. So
Yeah, jeez, yeah.
that is what this road naming bylaw is about.
Killdeer and Lover's Lane, do best signs for
Yep.
replacement.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions? Or any other statements? Okay, all those in favor again? Recarried. Now we're on to 1 to 5. Township of Southwest Oxford request for resolution support. Do we have one there to do that?
No,
Sorry.
I don't have a resolution, but Christine said she would draft one for the July meeting.
Okay.
If you're wanting a resolution, or, because she wasn't sure if you would if you wanted to support, or if you were gonna just leave it.
I think we'll just, hold that off till the July meeting. Table that.
Or I can do a resolution if you would like to tell me
No,
what you would like.
let's just
Okay.
table that for the moment. Put it on July. Ontario Tourism Action Plan info. Any questions? Maybe you want to speak to that? Does anybody want to speak to that? Okay, everybody read it. Just information, okay. Killaloe Haggerty Richards request for resolution support. Let's do the same with that. Okay. Renfrew County Seniors Games. It's a thank you letter with info. Infrastructure funding info. That's, is that dealing with the, 2017? Yeah. Have we applied for any of that yet?
Not that I'm aware of. Christine said her note here is she will give the info to the new EDO.
Okay. And what's the timeline on that? I'm just trying to think. There is a timeline on that grant too, eh? There are several grants. Not aware. Okay.
So I'll ask Christine, I'll ask the CAO to bring us some information.
Yeah, throw it into the loop and see what we need
Okay.
to do with that. Maybe we'll have to move it up, and maybe it's all right. But I know there was a deadline, and it's a fairly good grant. Okay, all those in favor of, Councillor Olmsted?
Concerning these various letters that were received from the ministers, most of these are a result of the meetings we had at Ogra and Roma in Toronto.
Yes.
And the one thing that kept coming back to us was there seems to be considerable funding going to be available. I think they said by 2018, 2019 they were going to pretty much double the infrastructure funding available. But one thing that they kept hammering home was that most of these they wanted shovel ready. So they want a lot of these studies already done. We've been talking about that in this council for a while. So they wanted a lot of the not necessarily economic impact, but one minister did mention, I think it was the tourism culture.
Yep.
When we were talking about jobs and what was going on at the brewery and different things, they did want some of those type of studies done as well, like an economic impact study and what that would take. And the other things that they were talking about when we were talking about roads like True Love Street and some other streets throughout the township, they really wanted these things shovel ready. So we may get notice, a 30-day notice that there's funding available, and there won't be time to get all of these studies done. So and that if you read through that letter, it's kind of stating the same thing, that we better be ready for it.
They also mentioned to us that there is a grant available to achieve these studies. Right, so we'll need to get on to that too. And as I mentioned, I got a phone call yesterday from a representative of the minister who received a letter from the minister that they are to work directly with us and to move forward as much as possible. So that was very exciting to get that phone call also. It looks like our work was well worth it to talk to these ministers, and they seem to be, we picked the right three to talk to because they were quite interested in what we were presenting to them. Hey? Sorry.
They took very good notes. In these letters, they pretty much summed up what we discussed in those meetings to a T, so they did a good job.
And we kinda went on and on to sell our municipality to a little past the allotted time, in one case over double, which worked. All right. All those in favor of filing the correspondence, 1 to 5? Okay, carried. I'm not moving till I get them all. Okay, we're moving on to the Canada Day float for discussions. Who's putting it together? Councillor McLaughlin.
Well, if the theme was Christmas, we'd be all set, 'cause it's still decorated as it was for the Christmas parade. I did find the float. It's in Forster's Falls. I did talk to Tally, who seems to be interested in heading it. I think maybe this council, though, should, rather than handing her a float that has the Christmas theme on it, maybe we should, as a council, at least take those decorations down. She wants it at the Ross Garage the week before, so that would give us next week, if some night or sometime. That's just my thoughts, but if you want it brought there with the Santa Claus theme on it, that's fine.
Well, Councillor Mackay is the only one that's not here with a trailer hitch. I think we could designate him to get that where it needs to be without the Christmas decorations.
Without?
Sure.
Okay, as long as it's without, because I can get it there. I have no problems to have it taken to the Ross Garage, because she'd like it the week before. And I think that it should be, we should at least do that if she's willing to decorate it. I think that's a great idea. So if we could somehow, maybe 2, 3, it won't take very long to take it down. I don't know, and this one I will ask Erica. Do you know, are the signs, the new signs that were supposed to be made, do you know where they are, or has that happened, or?
Tally is in discussions with Rick Kazabuski, who's making the signs. So
Okay.
she's been dealing with them, and I'm knowing Rick and Tally, they'll have them ready.
They'll have that
Yes.
ready?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Okay, so, because that makes it a whole lot easier, because then we could use the mayor's truck to pull it
Absolutely.
in the Canada Day parade. And I think the parade is 5 o'clock, but I will check on that for sure to find out exactly what time. Do you know, Erica?
No, I don't.
No, I'm not
It usually is 5,
it's
though. I know
usually-
other years we've gone, it has been 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5 o'clock, but I will check with Dave, because he asked me. First off, we are willing to put our float in.
Oh, yes.
We have people to get on the float then?
I can even bring my 1944 International
There we
H.
go, now you're talking.
Well, just, it has done the job before, I remember that, with the 2 flags on the sides.
Yes, I don't have the 2 flags on the side, but we could arrange something. Put one high
But
in front
anyway,
of muffler.
if that's what you'd like to,
But
could I
it's a
leave-
nice day, it's fun.
could I leave you in charge of that job then?
Okay, I'll decide whether or not the truck or the tractor.
Okay, but one way or the other, you will be
Absolutely.
the one that will be
I'll be
pulling.
the one pulling it.
You'll be in charge of making sure it's mobile?
Yep,
Okay?
absolutely.
At the Ross Garage, is that would
Yeah,
that be
that's
fine?
good. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that suits me, and either you or Rick can get it there. Probably if it doesn't throw too many people off, if it arrived there, we could take the Christmas floats off it there too, or the decorations off it there too. But we don't want to scare anybody thinking that we're moving backwards.
Yeah. No, just, I think it would be nice that rather than handing it over to Tally, to have at least have the decorations off of it. It wouldn't take that long to do it. I mean, an hour would probably even, would do it, so if we could do that
It
part.
only took us half an hour to put them on, I think. Councillor Miller.
So where is it?
It's at the Forster's Falls, it's in Forster's Falls.
Okay.
At the fire hall in Forster's Falls, I'll have to get the because it's inside. or it's,
No, it's in
No, it's not.
it's in
It's
the
in the-
sliding door.
it's in the sliding doors, yes. Yeah, it is.
We made them clean the spot out, we were very forceful,
Well, I
and
think
then
they
we
just moved
pushed it in.
the other fire truck over
That's
because
right.
there isn't too much extra room. That's,
Oh, no, we're very precise when we were backing it up.
well, I can see that.
If you call me, Darrell, I'll go out and help you tear down the Christmas stuff any
Okay.
evening you want.
That would be perfect. Maybe Mr. Miller even would have a hitch. I would think. You got a hitch as well, I would think so. So, okay,
So
that would be great. That's two.
And the
we
deal's
want-
the deal then.
Yep. We'll pick a night, okay?
Throw it on
Good
to
night.
the...
Pick
to
a
the-
night.
Pick a night, send us an email.
Yep.
I'll help too.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be perfect, because I think that would be just a little bit of a boost, guys.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so next is LED streetlight RFP recommendation from Steve Hodson.
Thank you.
Onward and upward.
So, I put out an RFP. We did get some responses. Now, the requirements in the document that I prepared, it was for a zero cost to the municipality in terms of upfront capital to do this, because this money was not budgeted for. Now, the only proponent that submitted a proposal that suggested zero cost to the municipality, with them taking all the risk, was Real Term Energy in association with Local Authority Services, LAS, which is, I believe, some branch of Association of Municipalities of Ontario, if I'm not mistaken. AMO, yep. So I've prepared a recommendation. If council wishes to move ahead with the project to do a retrofit of all our streetlights, then I would recommend Real Term Energy and LAS. And Real Term Energy also put together a costing proposal if we financed it ourselves, which the other two proponents put forth. We finance it through Infrastructure Ontario or simply a bank. In that case, the Real Term Energy was the cheapest price. But based on the requirements of the RFP, I would recommend Real Term Energy.
Okay, any questions? Darrell, Councilor McLaughlin.
I just wonder, maybe we should get this onto an Environmental Services Committee meeting where we could do some major discussions.
Okay, I just want to caution that they did finally decide that the 20th of June was the last day that we can get the incentive grant. And I double-checked that, and that was what I was told. Steve, did you double-check that too?
Well, my understanding is it's not disappearing, it's just being reduced.
It's being reduced to 40% of what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's still a substantial loss of incentive, right?
Yes.
And I'm not trying to push for a vote, I just want the information to be available. That would be, what is next week, next Wednesday? Monday's the 20th? Okay.
I was given some correspondence from one of the proponents that the individual at Ottawa River Power Corp needs to file the application with them at, I believe it was 4 o'clock today, because she's away for the next 2 days. So in terms of Ottawa River Power Corp, having them, if they were the chosen proponent, they're going to have to do the same thing with Hydro One, but we already missed the deadline with them.
Okay. And that would be for Beachburg then?
No, this was for the whole township. This proposal is for the whole township.
No, that we would only lose the, incentive with, Beachburg. If we, well,
Yeah.
that would depend on whether or not, okay.
Now, if ORES is suggesting that the incentive is going to be greatly reduced by the 20th, Hydro One's going to say the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if we've already missed it, then I guess the ideal situation is to follow the suggestion of Councillor McLaughlin, bring it back. I don't know myself how big the incentive is. It may not be super.
It's not. Real Term Energy is suggesting in the $50,000 range, which can be taken off the upfront project cost. ORES is suggesting in the range of $31,000 for an incentive.
So it's depending on their costs, right? So I think maybe I will ask for a Councillor, what was that?
Just so I'm clear on the three offers, Real Term is the only company that offered a no cash infusion from the municipality. The other two require an upfront capital cost.
Correct. Which is what the document that I put out asked for.
And OERS couldn't provide that type of service to us, where there was no initial cash outlay?
Well, I'm not saying they won't, but in their proposal, their written proposal, nowhere in there does it suggest that. They're suggesting Infrastructure Ontario or a bank.
I think I'd like to agree with Councillor McLaughlin. I'd like more time to digest this.
The overall cost is in the $400,000 and some range.
No, it's if we Real Term Energy is suggesting if we finance it ourselves, it's about $217,000 before you take away the incentive. But that is us financing it, and that means it's not including interest to find the cost of financing it. If Real Term Energy, if we go into a contract with them over a 10-year term, then you're into the $358,000 project cost minus the incentive, because that includes a complete term